songs. They have really amazing and intricate harmonies and colors associated with it, and I kind of describe it as a Alice in Wonderland-like journey throughout the 5 songs. So Lizzie and I will perform the first one, and you'll hear snippets of the other 4. So we're going to go over these 5 things today: the biography about Alma, her 5-leader titles and translations, a little bit about her compositional style, a quote that I really like, and then we'll wrap that up. Okay, so Alma was born on August 31st, 1879, and died on December 11th, 1964, so I believe she was 85 years old. The next fact was really interesting. She was married to 3 different men during her lifetime, with Mahler being the first. That was interesting to me because she went by Alma Mahler her whole life. But after Mahler, she was married to 2 other men and she didn't change her name. So I did some research on why that is, and I believe it was partly due to the fame associated to her first husband, and partly because she became known for her compositions and her music after she released her memoir titled My Life with Gustav Mahler. And that's what we're going to talk about next. So this memoir sparked quite a controversy, and historians have nicknamed this the Alma problem. It's really difficult to talk about female composers and female celebrities without eventually referencing the Me Too movement and the impact that that had. When she released her memoir, that became the sole place for people to get information about Gustav Mahler. And a lot of biographers didn't like this because she seemed to paint a bad picture of him. When it said My Life with Gustav Mahler, she really went day-to-day life, commenting on his values, character, and behavior every day. So the Alma problem is kind of meaning that her claims were false, because some people argue that she would go back in after she released things or published them and then change her point of view on them. So that does lose your credibility if you're going to put a resource out there. But I also wonder, as a woman in this time period, why she would go back and change her mind about things. And it could have been genuinely that she just did more research or maybe remembered things wrong, but people also could have given her backlash on that, and she wanted to clear her husband's name in order to have a good memory of him. So there's kind of a mix of things that go into that. She continued to write a lot of music and was particularly known for her voice and piano compositions. Lizzie and I were talking about this when we were rehearsing upstairs, and she said that maybe you would frame it better than I would.
Sure. So before she got married to Mahler, she was like writing him letters, and one of the letters was delayed, and she's like, oh, I was composing, and he wrote back and said, you have to stop composing when we get married. You must live for my music alone. And she ended up doing that, and for most of her life, she gave up her music and was there to support him until the end of his life. And he was like, oh wait, you're actually kind of good.
Right. Yeah, it's really interesting history in that time period and how historians can paint a picture, but we can't really know what it was like unless we were there. And lastly, she was alive during World War II and had to flee Austria because of her Jewish descent. So, these are the titles of the 5-leader. I don't speak German, so these title translations I got off of, I think, Oxford. So, I think it's a credible source. But so the first one that Lizzie and I are going to perform for you is called The Silent City. The second one is In My Father's Garden. Third one is The Balmy Summer Night. Fourth is With You It's Sad. And fifth, I Walk Among Flowers. If you kind of look at the titles, you can picture already in your mind where she's going to take you in those different landscapes of time and those different memories that she had. Brahms also wrote 5 Lieder along with a ton of other composers, and I wanted to read these titles as well because they seem to be really similar. So I was thinking maybe 5 Lieder, when you compose that, it can be pretty similar in taking you through that journey of memories. His is thoughts like melodies steal softly through my mind. My sleep grows ever quieter. Lament in the churchyard and betrayal. All right, I'm gonna have Lizzie come up, and we're gonna be playing this Silent City. As soon as she gets set up, I'm gonna read the lyrics to this. It says, "A town lies in the valley, a pale day is fading. It will not be long before neither moon nor stars, but night alone will deck the skies. From every mountain, mists weigh on the town. No roof, no courtyard, no house, no sound can penetrate the smoke, scarcely towers and bridges even. But as fear seized the traveler, a gleam appeared in the valley, and through the smoke and mist came a faint song of praise from a child's lips." think maybe about flowing wind. You're going to hear that in the orchestra. So you have that conversation and that connection between the singer and the orchestra. It was originally written for piano, but I found this recording and I really loved it. I think it really brings her song to life, and I believe another female composer was the one who arranged it for the orchestra. This song reflected on her childhood and the colors that were associated with it. We'll stop there. It's really different from the first one though, isn't it? It's a completely different memory and different colors. The third one, you can start hearing this journey from this piece, going from place to place, from landscape to landscape, and from different colors. In my opinion, this is the most romantic piece of them all. And I really want you to listen to the instrumentation that this composer chose. And there's a harp in it, which really just evokes a very romantic and a serene feeling. I really love the second stanza that says, "Found one another in the deep wood, in the night, the starless night, and amazed we embraced in the dark night." I think that really paints a picture of stars and feeling comfortable with the person that you're with and that love and connection that you have for one another. This next one, titled "With You It's Sad," is I think one of the most interesting pieces of this set, because you wouldn't think it's a sad song by listening to it, only if I told you the title beforehand. The lyrics read, "I feel warm and close with you. Clocks strike hesitantly like they did in distant days. Say something loving to me, but not aloud. A gate opens somewhere out in the burgeoning. Evening listens at the window panes. Let us stay quiet. No one knows us thus." It took me a few times to read the lyrics, and I was like, what is she talking about? Like, this is a love poem. This is with her husband, but it was an affair. So that's why it was a sad song, because she couldn't be with that person. The last one is probably one of my favorites. It has a very folklorian sound to it, like memories passed on from generation to generation, and how it becomes a little bit different in storytelling the more you tell it. I want you to notice how the singer is primarily singing one note at a time, one per phrase. The part that's moving is the orchestra. So when I walk among flowers, the singer could be talking about singing one note, her walking through the fields, and the orchestra is again the complete landscape and the earth, maybe a sunset or a clear day. And this one, you'll hear a climax that kind of comes out of nowhere, and it just reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. So I really like it. That's really interesting how that climax kind of comes out of nowhere. This is one of my favorite quotes that I pulled from, I think it was her memoir actually, and it took me a really long time to dissect this quote and really ask myself, what does she mean by this? It says, God granted me the privilege of knowing the brilliant works of our time before they even left the hands of their creators. And if I was allowed to assist these knights for a while, then my existence is justified and blessed. I think this describes her deep sense of purpose and privilege. And I believe that she was thankful to have been taught the music of these great composers that came before her. Her life and her compositions gained so much more significance because she sees herself as the composer who is carrying on the legacy of all of those who came before her. And she lived in such a time of musical development and innovation. I really think she changed the voice and piano repertoire, at least, with all of her contributions. So this is my bibliography. Do I have any last questions? Nope.
Anybody has a question? Great. Thank you for sending the bibliography. I got the slides I sent to you. You can see, and so I've done all 5 of these before. So you know, not only mezzos sing them. The sopranos love these songs too. So you know, the harmony is very chromatic because of this style period. So there are several transposed keys, and you get the joy of learning them in all of the transpositions and that wonderful Tristan chord.
Yes, I'm very familiar with that.
So, thank you to Elizabeth Leon for coming to sing for us as well. Thank you. Great presentation. I'm going to pause this.